If you're keen to hear everything that's going on in Korea and keep up to date with the latest news and affairs, then you are in the right place. Hello and welcome to the Korean Beauty Show podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Lee, K-beauty expert, long-term resident of Seoul, South Korea, and your guide to everything that you need to know to keep up to date with the latest. So I have a jam-packed episode for you this week. Let us dive straight into the headlines and see what's been happening. So skincare and makeup dupes are exploding in popularity in 2024. Some retail beauty divisions like Daiso have been experiencing an up to 160% year-on-year growth, thanks in large part to dupe consumption. So dupes, which are known in Korean as either dupe or 저렴이, which basically means like a cheapie, there are quite a few, particularly at Daiso, which if you're not familiar with it, it's a dollar store. It originated in Japan, and you'll find the stores pretty much all over the world. One of the unique things about Daiso in Korea is that it is actually Korean owned, so it's separate from the Daiso in Japan. So they tend to have different products and a different selection than you'll find in other countries. I know, for example, the one in Australia, you will find far more Japanese products, whereas the one in Korea tends to have a lot of products that are actually made in Korea, including, of course, makeup and skincare. So a couple of the really, really popular dupes at the moment, there's a swap for Chanel's lip and cheek balm that has really taken off, and that is the Son and Park Arti Spread Color Balm. So if you have a look at them, you'll even see that they are in similar kind of packaging. The big difference is obviously the price. So the Son and Park one is about 3,000 won, 3,000 won, which is very, very cheap. I'm going to say maybe like $2.20 in US dollars, whereas the Chanel one, a much more high-end product. I think it retails for over 6만 won, over 60,000 won, which is going to be, I'm not sure exactly if the pricing is the same in Korea and the US, but it should be up around the maybe $45, $50 mark. So a huge difference in price there. And I shared this on my Instagram, and someone actually went out and found the product at Daiso and sort of checked it out. And one of the comments she made was that it was quite fragranced, the Son and Park version. So maybe something to know if you are like looking for that product in advance. But 3,000 won is, obviously a huge difference in price. So it might be worth trying that one if you are looking for something that's a little bit cheaper than the Chanel. Another really popular one doing the rounds is a swap for Dior's Loose Blush. And that is actually an eyeshadow, a Holika eyeshadow. Another popular one, and we've spoken about this product a few times on the show, so the Picasso makeup spatula, which is like the product that really kickstarted the trend for makeup spatulas in Korea. Picasso is actually a very well-known brand that makes a lot of different makeup tools, so brushes and things like that as well. I actually have a couple of their products, very, very high quality, beautiful products, but they are not the cheapest. So there is actually a Daiso product, BECHIC makeup spatula, and I think I mentioned that on our previous episode, so maybe have a look, listen to that if you're keen to hear a little bit more about the differences. And another one, this one is not actually at Daiso, but it's a popular swap doing the rounds at the moment, is a swap for VT's Riedel Shot, and it's called the Plu Seeker Booster Riedel Shot. So again, there's a huge difference in price between those two products, but using similar kind of ingredients. And I guess it's a similar sort of product. I also saw that Daiso just released a dupe for the Fui pudding pots as well. So if you are in Korea and you are, hitting up Daiso, that is just something to keep in mind, that there are a lot of really like hottem is what they call them in Korea, like a hot item. The only thing is a lot of these are selling out. So the Son and Park Arti Spread Color Balm has actually been sold out several times throughout the year because so many people are talking about these. So I just thought that might be interesting, because I know dupes in Western makeup in particular, but also Western beauty products, are fairly common. There's a couple of brands at the moment that are really leaning heavily into dupe culture and receiving, I think it's fair to say, a fair amount of backlash for that as well. So it's not just a phenomenon in Western countries. Obviously, there are Korean beauty products that have been, I guess, well known to be similar to popular products on the Western market over the years, whether or not they are true dupes, duplicates or copies or copycats is open to debate. Perhaps some more so than others, and we've covered them in the past. I will link in the show notes to previous episodes that we've done on dupes. But yeah, this is, I just think, a globally popular trend for, having some cheaper alternatives. So I thought I would introduce some of those that are domestically quite popular in Korea. Now, I will apologize in advance. I don't know how easy these are going to be to get your hands on if you are outside of Korea, but it might be something to keep on your shopping list if you are heading over here. I'm always surprised the amount of people that tell me that they are planning a trip to Korea, coming to Korea. I think it's growing, it's increasing. It's on a lot of people's travel list, which obviously I think it deserves a place. So I'm always very glad to hear that too. But if that is you, then just keep these in mind. Or if you know someone that's going to Korea, maybe send them this list and get them to pick them up for you as well. Now, another interesting thing that I came across was a list of the top selling beauty products on Amazon for Q3 of 2024. And in particular, I was obviously interested to know what the top selling Korean beauty products were. And there were only 2 on the list. So that might be surprising to some people. Korean beauty is so popular and there are so many Korean beauty products on Amazon. Why aren't there that many on the list? But actually the results weren't dissimilar from past quarters when I compared them. So the 2 products that were on the list, the first one was the Biodance Collagen Mask, and that was in 13th place. So that is the product that you will undoubtedly have seen if you spent any time on TikTok or Instagram lately. It basically starts out as a sheet mask that looks fairly normal, and then people leave it on for an extended period of time and the product turns white, and then a lot of the influencers are pulling it off with the shocked Pikachu face, by, oh my gosh, how glossy and glassy my skin is. So if you have been tempted by this product, I highly recommend checking out Dr. Rachel Ho's video on this, debunking basically how it actually works. And spoiler alert, it's a gimmick. Basically, the glass skin effect is the acrylates copolymer which is an ingredient in the product, and it forms basically a light film on your skin that kind of gives it that glowing glass effect. And it disappears as soon as you wash your face. So that's actually not an unusual ingredient. I came across it in the wild, as it were, the other day when I was taking a look at the ingredients list of Laneige's new bouncy and firm eye sleeping mask, and I noticed that that's right up there as well. So that's why it's a popular ingredient, because it does form this film on the skin and then it can give it this kind of glossy, glowing effect. But yeah, go and check out Dr. Rachel Ho's video on that if you want a more in-depth analysis from a doctor on how that all works. Now, the other product that was on the list in 15th place was the COSRX Snail Mucin Essence. I think that is an absolute favorite on Amazon. Very, very popular product. So this data I actually took from MarketDefense and Beauty Matter. So they actually publish the results of the top-selling beauty products on Amazon. So go and check that list out, I guess, if you're interested in the other products. It was a pretty random assortment of various different beauty products, but I thought that some of our listeners would be interested to hear what's trending for Korean beauty. So those were the top 2, the only 2, I guess, that made it into, I think it was the top 25. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting information, especially because of how popular the Biodance product is. So there you go. Now, the other piece of news that I have for our listeners, and this one is particularly relevant for those of our listeners who are in the US, is that Jellicoe, my brand, is now available on eCosmetics.com. So this is a really huge beauty platform. It's an online beauty platform in the US, and they ship out of the East Coast. They have so many amazing brands, not just Korean, a lot of the top Western selling brands as well. So we would absolutely love for you to try out our brand and also to thank eCosmetics for taking a chance on our brand as well. It's not easy for retailers to make the call, I guess, to take on a smaller brand that is not as well known. So we were absolutely blown away and really, really grateful when they took a look at the brand. They agreed that they would take the brand and give us a chance. So if you are, I guess, shopping, if you're picking up some other things, they do have so many fantastic brands. Just a little shout out and thank you to eCosmetics for taking us on. And we are really excited for you to, I guess, have another place that you can get our products from as well. So we obviously have a warehouse in the US, but it's on the other side of the country. So that one's shipping out of Idaho. So if you are on the East Coast, it's going to be a lot quicker for you to get your products through eCosmetics. You won't have to wait for it to come across the country. So that's another reason that we were really, really excited that they agreed to take the brand for us. So there you go. That's good news for us, I guess. Now, speaking of trying out our brand, we are also, I will let you know, offering some pretty epic deals for our newsletter subscribers next week on jellicoe.com. We've actually got a $1 mystery K-beauty item prepared for you. We've got some huge discounts off our best-selling products as well. So if you're not already on our newsletter subscribers list, I will pop a link for that in the show notes. Basically, get yourself on the list. We are opening up the sale early, specifically and especially for our subscribers. And what actually ended up happening last year when we did that is that we sold out of our number one selling product, our bubble tea steam cream, the week before because basically everyone on the list just jumped in and grabbed one. So by the time actual Black Friday and the sale rolled around, it was already out of stock. So I don't want that to happen to anyone again this year. So make sure you get on the list. We always give our best deals to our subscribers, obviously, because we want to say thank you for supporting the brand. So that is just a little reminder. If you're not already, I would love for you to get on the list. We actually do, if I say so myself, send around some very useful information too. We try not to just spam people with a whole bunch of random stuff, actually provide you with skincare education and contents that will actually be useful for you in, planning your routine, ingredients that you might like to try, and sort of going a little bit more in depth in stuff like that. So if that sounds like your jam, I would love for you to join the list. And yeah, I think it's not the kind of typical newsletter that you're thinking of. You're just like, what is this absolute junk? And it seems like it's a different sale every other week. That is not really our vibe. It's more educational and informative and useful to you rather than just a bunch of, useless facts. Now, the other thing I have that some of our listeners might be interested in is that I was invited to actually join a panel of industry experts talking about the rise of clinical beauty. So that is going to be on the 27th of November. And I'm going to pop a registration link as well in our show notes. If you are keen to hear a variety of perspectives, there are going to be people on both sides, obviously, a range of different experts, brand founders and things like that, talking about science, transparency, the rise of clinical beauty, how it's different from clean beauty, where the industry is going. Now, if you are a long-time listener of the show, you probably have an idea already on my thoughts on all of this, but it's going to be a very exciting panel discussion. So if that kind of thing sounds like something that you would like to listen to and join us, then I will pop a link for you in the show notes so that you can go ahead and do that, basically. All right. Now, on to our question of the week. And this was from one of our listeners. She said, "Hi, Lauren. I just wanted to say that I love your podcast. I listen to it on my day off each week as my chill moment. I wanted to ask what you think of gua sha and if you think it helps your skin." So that is a really great question. And I am not even going to pretend to be an expert in gua sha at all. However, what I am a big fan of is facial massage. So my understanding of gua sha is that it is a technique, a very ancient technique that has been used for a long time in places like China for massaging your face. It's basically just an additional tool that can help you to do that. So I actually did a podcast episode a couple of years back on how to do Korean facial massage and some of the techniques for that. So I'll pop a link to that one in the show notes. But I basically went through some of the various different techniques and ways that you can incorporate facial massage into your routine using just your hands. So you don't actually need to use any tools to do a lot of the different Korean facial massage techniques. You really can just do with a lot of pressure and knowing the right places as well. So when I was learning how to do this, I actually had to follow along with a lot of videos just because I wasn't entirely sure. But facial massage really does make a huge difference just to even to the way you feel. It can definitely help get rid of puffiness, bloating. You know, if you wake up and you just feel like your under eyes, particularly my under eyes, I always notice it a little bit more, are just like not feeling very well. Massaging and incorporating that into your skincare routine even. You can do it with a lot of products and massaging your oils and things like that. It's great. I definitely noticed results from doing it. So I'll pop a link to that. I don't have any strong thoughts on gua sha either way. I think probably if you are wanting to do it, I would learn from someone that actually knows what they're doing. I myself, I've never needed it. I've found that my hands are enough. You have to be quite forceful and your face will often end up red afterwards if you've done a proper facial massage. But I personally do not use a gua sha tool. But I don't have any thoughts on it either way, negative or positive. I think it's just an additional tool that you can use to help you do your facial massage, basically. But I think it will probably pay to learn from someone, who's doing maybe a tutorial or something like that knows how to actually use it properly. Because I know a lot of influencers or, people that are posting online are using these tools, but maybe not everyone knows how to actually do it to get the best results. So I'm sure there are some useful contents out there. If anyone knows of any, please come and find me and I'd be happy to add them to the show notes as well. But yeah, Korean facial massage is something that I'm far more familiar with, and we tend to just use our hands for that. Now, I do have for you this week a K-beauty product to try, and this product is something that I have used on and off over the years. I don't even know how many years it's been, honestly. Like I pretty much forgot about this product until earlier in the year when I really needed it. And then I saw it and I was like, why is this product not in my bathroom right now? Like, why did I ever stop buying it? It's Cirical's Red Spot Cream, and it comes in a little pot and it is white in color, and it is basically for your blemishes. So it helps to reduce redness and inflammation caused by acne and pimples. It has a lightweight texture that covers your spots, and it actually helps them go down quicker. So the way that I love to use this product is if I have a whitehead or something like that, I will first get it with a pimple patch, and then once all of the gunk has come out of it, that's when I'll put the red spot cream on afterwards, just to sort of help it go down a bit quicker. Or if it is a pimple that doesn't have a head, you can't really use pimple patches on pimples that don't have a head to them, because that's kind of how they work, by drawing out any of the water in there, or anything that's too small. I had a couple of pimples pop up very randomly on my cheeks last week, and they were just too small to patch. So I just popped a little bit of this on overnight, and when I woke up the next morning, they were gone. So what is in this product that makes it so good? It has a lot of really good ingredients. Zinc oxide, a fantastic ingredient for this kind of thing. Niacinamide, tea tree leaf oil, but don't be too scared about that. It's not overpowering. You can't really smell it. A lot of people do not like that smell. It hasn't irritated my senses at all using the product. It has centella in it, and it also has one of the components of centella asiatica, which is Asiatica side, and that is a really, really fantastic ingredient for this kind of thing. Another one, my personal favorite, is panthenol. So this is just like a bit of a hidden gem of a product. They've sold over 80,000 units, but I'm not sure like how it's not more popular. Like, it's one of those products that's honestly been around for a very, very long time. I think it's probably safe to say that it's more popular in Korea than it is overseas. But Cerakool Red Spot Cream, like I couldn't even tell you how many jars of this I've used, but I feel like over the years, probably quite a few, and then, maybe I forget about it for a while and then rediscover it again. But it's great. I just love it. I have it with me, and I've had it with me all year, and I've been finding uses for it. It's not the kind of product that you are like applying over your whole face. It's literally just a spot treatment. So like one jar can last you quite a while. But yeah, if you haven't already had that one and you do suffer from the odd pimple or odd blemish, or even more than the odd one, just to sort of help everything fade away a little bit quicker, I can highly recommend that. It's a really, really great product. And I also have for you, of course, for this week, a recommendation of the week as well. Now, I haven't done like a Korean movie or drama recommendation for a little bit, I don't think. So this one is on Netflix, so nice and accessible, hopefully, to a lot of different people. It's called Uprising in English. And it's basically a 2024 film. It was actually directed by Kim Sang-man, but it was written by Park Chan-wook, who, if you are familiar with Korean film, will know that he is very, very famous. He has so many great films that he has put out. So he had previously revealed that he was writing the script, but because he was too busy to film it, they gave it to someone else to film it. But it premiered at the Busan International Film Festival in October. It was recently released on Netflix, and it was honestly a really, really good film. I enjoyed it. I sat down, I watched it with my husband, and we were both like, that was a great film. And like when you watch something and like you're still thinking about it the next day, this was one of those kind of movies. So I don't want to sort of give away too much, but basically it is set in the Joseon Dynasty, so hence Uprising. This was the time when people used to have slaves. So one of the main characters is a slave. He was forced into slavery, forced into slavery or servitude, whatever you want to call it. And he and his master developed like a really, really close relationship, and they go through, a lot of things together. I don't want to spoil too much, but it was really, really good, particularly if you do like sort of period style, I guess, Korean dramas or films. It had just like the writing was really, really great. The filming of it and like how they captured it was just beautiful. I think that's one of the things that I appreciate the most about Haguk, which are like the old historical dramas and a lot of the films, is just like the costumes, the scenery, the sets. When they're done well, they are really, really beautiful. I don't think you need to know a whole lot about Korean history to appreciate this film. I mean, suffice it to say, in most places at this point in time, I think there were masters and slaves and, uprisings and kings and people doing the wrong thing and all that sort of thing. So I don't want to spoil too much. It is called Uprising. It's on Netflix. It was a really, really beautiful film. It's a war action, basically. Hopefully you can check it out, I guess, if you haven't already. Now, I'm going to leave it here for this week. Yes, I will be back in your ears shortly, soon. I've actually got a whole lot of our episodes already planned, already in the works. So I'm feeling very proud of myself for that, just because it's getting to crunch time, that time of the year where, we really need to get our A's into G. And so I sort of sat down and wrote a bunch of episodes. I've got them planned out for you so that I know that I've got time to do all the other things that I need to do in my schedule because it's getting busy. All right, I'm going to finish it up here. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have, a rating and review would be absolutely lovely. Until then, I will see you on Jellico.